If you were to walk into the Tabernacle of Moses, you would walk through this curtain. We talk about the outer court. It's covered by this curtain. Well, not covered. It's surrounded. It has a border that is this curtain. It's about 6 foot tall. It's white linen, and it's set with these silver pedestals that's around. It's about 50 feet wide and 75 feet deep. And as you walk in through the center, you'll be walking from the east, because the entrance to the tabernacle was in the east, which is a key thing to remember when you're thinking about the ways of God and understanding Him, because the east is really important. But as you walk in, the first thing that you're going to be struck with is the smells. There's this what's the word I'm looking for? Rank? I tried to say rancid and rank at the same time. I don't think rancid is a word. There's this rank smell of burning wood, but it's not just burning wood. There's burning meat, and there's fat that has been so burnt that it's nothing but ash that's left. And in the midst of that is this strong smell of iron from all of the blood that has poured out on the side of the altar. And as the wind blows through, you get this hint of something sweet, but it goes away almost as quickly as it's there. And right in front of you, there is this structure. It's the largest piece of furniture in the whole structure, called the tabernacle. And this is the brazen altar. It's made up of wood, but it's completely covered with brass, so that all you see is this brass, or this bronze that's gleaming in the sun. It's 7 foot wide by 7 foot deep, and it's 4.5 feet tall. And on at least one side of it, there's a slope of the earth that comes up where we've mounded up dirt so that we can get up to it without having to go up by steps, because God said that the priests were not allowed to come to the altar by steps. And so there was this mound, and on the south side of the altar, there is this pool of blood, whereas animals are slaughtered, that the blood would just be poured out. And what would happen if you were a worshiper is you would bring your offering. Let's say that this is a sin offering. You've done something that was not right, and the only response is to make an offering for your sin, so that you can be made right with God. And so you bring your offering, and you bring it to the priest, and you put your hands on the head of this animal, and you begin to confess your sins before God and before the priest. You have to say it out loud. It has to be said out loud in the presence of another person. And as you're confessing your sins, the priest takes a knife and slices the throat of the animal so that the blood begins to pour out, and the blood pours out, and then they take this and they prepare it as a sacrifice, and they burn parts of it on the altar. And this is the cost of sin. Now, if you look on this altar, you'll notice about halfway down on the inside of it, there's this grate that's covered with bronze as well. And the fire with all the wood is down below that, and all the animal pieces are up above it as they're being burnt, as they're being consumed by the fire. One thing that we know from the tabernacle of Moses, and we find this in the book of Hebrews says that everything in the tabernacle is something that was uncreated, that the tent that was made was a picture of, it was a natural picture of an uncreated reality, because Moses was in heaven. So every piece of furniture in the tabernacle can be found in heaven. Now, I wasn't sure that you could find this piece of furniture in heaven at first, because I don't remember the altar where things are being burnt. But it came to my attention that it is clearly in heaven. In the book of Revelation, it talks about a lake of fire. And the lake of fire is a place that can be seen from heaven, because In Revelation, I believe it's in chapter 7, it talks about those that are burning in the lake of fire, that the smoke of their torment forever rises before the throne, before God and all of his holy angels. And so it's close enough that the smoke from this fire is in heaven. This is the brazen altar. And it's the first place, if we're going to go deeper with the things of God, it's the first place that we get to come to. Now, if we didn't know the rest of the story, that would leave us without any hope. And in the next video, I'll share what the rest of the story is. Now, that is something interesting that we can learn from the Tabernacle of Moses.